The alien girl had never seen the stars. She lived on a quiet space station that floated near the edge of known space. Ships came and went every day, glowing lights passed by the windows, and voices echoed through metal halls. But for her, the universe was only sound and touch. Her name was Lyra. She was born blind, just like everyone from her species. The Galactic Council called it natural. They said it was how her people were meant to be. No cure, no fix, no questions allowed. Lyra believed that lie her whole life, until she met a human. The human's name was Evan. He was not a soldier, not a leader, not important in the eyes of the galaxy. He was just an engineer who repaired broken tools and old machines on the station. Every morning, he drank bitter station coffee, checked his work list, and tried not to get noticed. Humans were good at that. Evan first noticed Lyra when she bumped into a crate outside his workshop. She fell, her hands shaking as she searched the floor. Others walked past her. No one stopped. Evan did. He helped her stand and asked a simple question. "Are you okay?" That question changed everything. Over the next few weeks, Lyra began visiting his workshop. She liked the sounds there, the soft hum of machines, the clicking of tools, Evan talking to himself while working. She asked questions about things he had never seen. What is light like? What does the sky look like? Why do humans stare at stars so much? Evan tried to explain, but words were not enough. That bothered him. Humans hated problems without solutions. One night, long after the station lights dimmed, Evan sat alone at his workbench. Old human parts were spread everywhere. Broken lenses, power chips, alien scrap metal no one wanted, and an idea. The galaxy had laws, many laws. One of them was clear: no species was allowed to change another species' biology. Helping Lyra see was forbidden. Evan knew that, but humans had broken worse rules before. He worked quietly for days, then weeks. He built something small, something simple. A thin visor that rested gently on the face. It didn't replace her eyes. It didn't change her body. It translated. Human tech didn't force biology to change. It adapted around it. When the visor was finished, Evan's hands shook. If anyone found it, he would be arrested. If the council learned the truth, Lyra could disappear forever. Still, he called her. Lyra sat across from him on a metal chair. The workshop felt different that day. "Too quiet, I made something," Evan said. She smiled softly. "For me?" "Yes, but you don't have to try it." Lyra reached out. "I trust you." That scared him more than any law. He placed the visor on her face. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Lyra gasped. Her breath caught. Her fingers curled tight against the chair. Tears formed and fell freely down her cheeks.
Her voice broke. "I see light."
She laughed, then cried harder. She saw shapes, colors, movement, blurry, imperfect, but real. She saw Evan's face, human eyes filled with fear and wonder. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Evan smiled. Then the workshop lights flickered. A sharp alarm cut through the air. Red warnings flashed across the walls. Evan's smile vanished, because the visor had done more than show light. It had sent a signal. And far away, beyond the station, something powerful had noticed. The military did not ignore forbidden signals. They hunted them. The alarm did not stop. Red lights washed over the workshop walls, flashing again and again like a warning heartbeat. Evan froze for half a second, then moved fast. He shut down machines, killed open signals, and pulled the visor gently from Lyra's face. She blinked. The colors faded. The light disappeared. But something had changed. "I can still feel it," Lyra said softly, like the world didn't fully go away. Evan swallowed. That was not supposed to happen. "That's not good," he said. "That means the visor worked better than I planned." Outside the workshop, boots echoed in the metal hallway. Station security, not soldiers yet, but that was only the first step. Lyra's hands trembled. "Did I do something wrong?" "No," Evan said quickly. "You did nothing wrong. This is on me." He looked at the visor in his hands. It was small, simple, and now dangerous. Everyone in the galaxy knew the rules. Helping another species was allowed. Changing them was not. The council said it was about balance. About safety, humans knew better. It was about control. Evan hid the visor inside a tool case and pushed it under the workbench. Then he opened the door just as 2 station officers arrived. "We detected an illegal energy spike," one of them said. "Explain." Evan shrugged like it was nothing. "Old power cell happens all the time." The officers scanned the room. Their tools beeped, confused by human wiring. After a tense moment, they left with warnings and threats. But Evan knew the truth. Station security didn't scare him. What scared him was what came next. Later that night, Lyra sat in her room, unable to sleep. For the first time in her life, she remembered images. Blurred shapes, light and shadow. They stayed in her mind like a dream that refused to fade. She touched her eyes. Her species believed blindness was sacred. A gift, a rule from birth. But now it felt like a lie. Evan sat alone in his workshop, staring at the visor. He replayed the data again and again. The visor wasn't just translating light. It was mapping signals straight into her brain. Human brains adapted fast. Apparently, so did hers. That meant one thing. If the council found out, they wouldn't just destroy the visor. They would erase the proof. They would erase Lyra. Evan clenched his jaw. Humans were not brave because they lacked fear. They were brave because they acted anyway. He sent a message to Lyra. We need to talk. Somewhere quiet. They met in an unused cargo bay near the station's outer ring. No cameras. No traffic. Just silence and stars outside a wide viewing window. I'm in danger, aren't I? Lyra asked. Evan said honestly. But so am I. She nodded slowly. Then tell me everything. So he did. He told her about the law. About the council. About why humans were watched so closely. He told her how human inventions always started small and ended up changing everything. My people say humans are reckless, Lyra said. Evan gave a tired smile. We prefer curious. She hesitated. Can you make me see again? Evan looked at her, really looked at her. A blind girl who had lived her whole life in darkness, now brave enough to ask for light again, knowing the risk. Yes, he said. But not here. Not like this. He had a plan. Humans always did. The next day, rumors spread across the station. A strange signal. A forbidden pattern. Something only human tech could create. Far beyond the station, in deep military space, a classified report was opened. SUBJCT human engineer Tirati Laviel unknown ORDR investigate. Retrieve, contain. 4 elite soldiers were assigned, and they were already on their way. The military ship did not announce itself. No warning lights. No open signal. It slipped out of dark space like a shadow that had learned how to fly. Most people on the station never saw it, but Evan did. His workshop window faced the outer ring, and when the stars bent slightly, he felt it in his chest before he saw it with his eyes. They're here, he whispered. Lyra was standing beside him. She couldn't see the ship, but she heard the change in his voice. Humans always sounded different when danger was real. What do we do? She asked. Evan didn't answer right away. He was already moving. He grabbed the visor and a small data drive, shoved them into a plain bag, and handed it to Lyra. Whatever happens, you don't give this to anyone except me. Footsteps echoed in the corridor outside. Heavy, calm. Not station security. Military. The door slid open without permission. 4 soldiers stepped inside. They were tall, wearing dark armor with no markings. Their helmets hid their faces, but their posture said everything. These were not here to talk. One of them scanned the room. His device stopped, then beeped in a confused pattern. Human equipment, the soldier said. Unregistered. Evan raised his hand slowly. I fix machines. That's my job. The soldier turned his head slightly, like he was listening to something only he could hear. Then he looked at Lyra. Step away from the human. Lyra didn't move. She had been blind her whole life. Fear had never looked like something standing in front of her. But now she could see shapes, shadows, movement. She saw the soldiers, and she saw what they were afraid of. No, she said quietly. The word surprised everyone. Including herself, the soldier stepped closer. You are not authorized to speak. Evan felt his heart pound. Humans were not stronger than most species. They were not faster, but they were stubborn. She's under my protection, Evan said. The soldier paused. You do not have that authority. Neither do you. Evan replied. Not here. That was when the soldier raised his weapon. Before he could fire, every light in the workshop went out. Total darkness. For 1 second, no one moved. Then something unexpected happened. Lyra spoke. I can see you. The soldiers froze. That's impossible, one of them said. Lyra's voice was steady now. Your armor reflects light differently. Your movements are slow when you turn. You assume no one here understands what you are. Evan stared at her. She was describing things only someone with vision could know. The visor was still in the bag. She wasn't wearing it. The lead soldier stepped back. Human, what did you do? Evan didn't answer, because he finally understood. The visor didn't just help her see. It taught her how. Human tech had given her brain a new way to understand the world. Even without the device, something remained. That scared the soldiers more than weapons ever could. This changes nothing, the soldier said sharply. You will come with us. The station alarms blared again, this time louder, panicked. Other systems failed. Doors locked. Screens flickered with errors. Human code was spreading. Evan had triggered it earlier, just in case. You wanted to investigate, Evan said. Congratulations. You're inside a human test environment. The soldiers backed toward the door. One of them whispered. This was not in the report. No, Evan said, because the report is already outdated. Lyra stepped closer to Evan. She was not shaking anymore. For the first time in her life, she understood something clearly. The galaxy had kept her blind on purpose, and now they were afraid she could see. Outside the workshop, more ships arrived. Not civilian, not friendly. The situation was no longer small. It was no longer quiet. And it was no longer just about one human and one alien girl. The station was silent in a way Evan had never felt before. Not calm, not safe. It was the silence of systems being watched. Military ships surrounded the station now, not attacking, just waiting. The kind of waiting that meant decisions were being made far away by beings who never showed their faces. Evan and Lyra were taken to a secured room near the command deck. No chains, no force. That worried Evan more than weapons. When power returned, a large screen lit up across the wall. The Galactic Council appeared. Tall figures, smooth voices, perfect control. Human engineer Evan, one of them said. You are accused of violating interspecies law. Evan crossed his arms. I helped someone see. A pause followed. You altered biology, the council replied. I gave her a tool, Evan said. Her mind did the rest. Another pause longer this time. Lyra stood quietly beside him. She could see the council now. Their shapes were sharp, their posture stiff. They looked nervous. That surprised her. You were not meant to see, a council member said to her. Lyra tilted her head. Why? The question echoed in the chamber. The council did not answer right away. Evan felt it then. Humans were good at noticing patterns, and silence was always the loudest one, because it was never natural. Evan said slowly. The council's eyes shifted. Evan continued. Her species wasn't born blind. You made them that way. That is a dangerous claim, the council warned. So prove me wrong, Evan replied. He stepped forward and uploaded the visor's data to the room's system. Human code spread across alien screens, translating ancient records faster than council firewalls could stop it. Old images appeared, old experiments, old decisions. Lyra gasped. She saw her people centuries ago, walking under open skies, guiding ships, reading stars with their own eyes. Then came the council ships, the treaties, the protection, and the darkness. They took it from us, Lyra whispered. The council spoke sharply now. Your species was becoming difficult to manage. Evan clenched his fists. So you blinded them. You removed choice, Lyra said. Her voice was calm, but her hands trembled. You made us obedient. The council tried to regain control. This information is classified. It will not leave this room. Evan smiled. That's where you're wrong. He tapped the data drive in his pocket. Humans don't keep truth locked away. We share it. Across the station, systems came back online, not under council control, but human-modified channels. Messages spread. Proof followed. Other species began to watch, ask questions, remember things they were told to forget. You cannot undo this, the council said. We don't need to, Evan replied. Truth does the work for us. The military commander stepped forward on the screen. Orders, council. The council hesitated. That hesitation was everything. Lyra stepped closer to the screen. You feared humans because they invent. But you should fear them because they care. She looked at Evan. He didn't build a weapon. He built hope. The room fell silent again. Finally, the council spoke. The human engineer will be released. The device will be confiscated. Evan laughed quietly. Too late. The visor was no longer the only one. Humans had already sent the design beyond the station, to other engineers, other helpers, other quiet humans who didn't like unfair rules. The council ended the transmission. The ships outside began to pull back, not defeated, but exposed. Lyra turned to Evan. What happens now? Evan looked out at the stars. No, the galaxy has to decide what to do with the truth, and humans would be there as always, not leading armies, not demanding power, just fixing what was broken. The galaxy did not change all at once. It never did. Change began quietly, the same way Evan had started his work, without permission, without speeches, without asking powerful beings what was allowed. On the station, life slowly returned to normal. Ships docked again, hallways filled with noise. But something invisible had shifted. People were thinking. Lyra stood near the viewing window watching stars drift past. For the first time she could truly see them. Not clearly, not perfectly, but enough to know the universe was bigger than the lies she had been taught. Evan stood beside her, holding a cup of that terrible station coffee. Still beautiful? He asked. Yes, she said, but also painful. He nodded. Humans understood that feeling well. Across the galaxy the truth spread faster than the council could stop it. Old records surfaced. Stories returned. Other species began to ask uncomfortable questions. What had been taken from them? What had been hidden? Who decided what was natural? The council tried to deny it, then tried to silence it, then tried to rewrite it. None of that worked, because humans had shared the visor's design freely. No patents, no ownership, no control, just instructions written in simple language. Easy enough for anyone to follow, a human habit. Soon, blind aliens on distant worlds began to see faint light, shapes, movement, hope. Some laughed. Some were angry. The council watched their power weaken with every restored vision. They did not declare war. They didn't need to. Fear did the work for them. Evan and Lyra were offered protection, a quiet relocation, a new station, a fresh start. Evan refused. I didn't do this to hide, he said. Lyra stayed. She began speaking to other species, calmly, honestly. She told them what it was like to grow up in darkness and discover it was never fate, only a choice someone else had made. People listened. Because she could see now, and because humans stood beside her, not above her. One day a council representative returned. No soldiers, no armor, just words. You have destabilized the galaxy, the representative said. Ivan leaned back in his chair. No, we fixed a problem. You defied law? Ivan shrugged. So did the law? The representative looked at Lyra. What do you want? Lyra didn't answer right away. She looked out the window again, at stars she once only imagined. I want choice, she said. For my people, for everyone. The council representative left without another word. They had nothing left to threaten. Months later, history books across the galaxy would record this moment differently. Some would call it the Vision Incident. Others would call it human interference. Humans would call it a normal Tuesday. Avon returned to his workshop, fixed broken machines, helped strangers, drank bad coffee. He never became famous, never wanted to. Lyra became something else entirely, a reminder that the most dangerous thing humans bring to the galaxy is not weapons. It is refusal. Refusal to accept unfair rules. Refusal to ignore suffering. Refusal to believe that this is how it has always been is a good excuse. The galaxy learned something important that day. Humans do not conquer planets. They do not need to. They simply look at what is broken and fix it, even when fixing it changes everything.